Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Grindhouse. My name is Shawn Tetrault, and today with my girlfriend and co-host Leah Diana, we are getting exactly what we think we will. As we follow up our pilot episode with the 1982 massacre pieces. The co-eds of a Boston college campus are no longer safe, as they are targeted by a mysterious killer, hell-bent on creating a human jigsaw puzzle from the mutilated corpses of his victims. Let's get into it.
Warning. What you will see in the movie Pieces cannot be revealed, cannot be described, cannot even be imagined. And you don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre. Pieces. It's exactly what you think it is. Pieces. Absolutely no one under 17 will be admitted.
Spread the word, you dirty cocksuckers! Tell all your grave robbing friends I want them out of the city now!
The nightmare of insane murder. From the depths of hell. Smoke the angel of death. Only at the Grindhouse.
Hello, Leah.
Hello, Shawn.
And hello, Pieces.
Oh boy.
Before we get started, this episode is once again unofficially sponsored by Chameleon Organic Churro-flavored light roast.
Pumpkin spice still isn't helping us.
Stuff is sort of bland.
Yeah, the churro flavor is not coming through.
All right, where do we begin with Pieces?
When you told me that the name of the movie that we were following up Texas Chainsaw Massacre was Pieces, and then you showed me the actual trailer, I didn't know what to think, because we've been doing this for a couple weeks now where it's like, Pieces. Like, seriously, the trailer is less than a minute, and it's just that's all it is. Like, and now we watch it, and I have one thing to say to you. What the fuck did you just make me watch?
Well, fun fact about the trailer, actually. It turns out that at the very end of the trailer that you guys have actually just seen,
If you're on YouTube,
there's a scream right before we cut to the main title. It's like a shot of the killer walking towards the camera, and then there's this lady screaming. That scream is actually taken directly from Janet Leigh in Psycho.
I thought that sounded familiar.
So, Pieces is actually a Spanish language film, not a giallo.
Ooh.
It came out in 1982 from director Juan Piquer Simón, I think is how his name would be pronounced.
We'll put it in the bottom somewhere.
However, it's written by the American exploitation writer Derek Randall.
Okay.
The film was set around Boston, but it actually was primarily shot in Valencia, Italy.
I was gonna say, none of that looks like Boston. Any of it. None of it. Except for the fact that they tried to put Boston Hospital on the side of a ambulance, and it was in Spanish, and I laughed, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
And this movie was made on a budget of around $300,000.
Okay, all right.
And the original Spanish title for this movie was not Pieces.
What was it?
It roughly translated to Night of a Thousand Screams.
I think Jigsaw might have been a better title.
I think that was actually the name of the original screenplay.
Jigsaw. That would have made sense.
I have to say the best description I have ever heard for this film is that, and I quote,
Oh, God.
It plays out like a serious cop thriller that loses its fucking mind every few minutes and decides to go all splatter and gratuitous tits and ass.
I will say the tits and ass count wasn't very high, but holy shit, we got a full half chub peen shot from the lead kid. Like, whole dick and balls out. I was like, you don't see this. This is nice. I like these international movies where they don't care.
Yeah, foreign films tend to not avoid
They don't.
full frontal male nudity.
They literally don't give a shit.
So we open this movie on a young boy building a jigsaw puzzle of a naked pinup girl as his mom lurks in and beats the shit out of him.
Like, I get it. Like, moms hate porn. Like, that kid was like 10, maybe 9. He was not like, I'm a horny 13-year-old. He was like, still young. Where did he get the porn puzzle from? Was it from his dad who was in Europe for the war? The beginning of this movie was set in 1947.
42, I believe.
It said 47.
Did it say 42?
I think it said 47.
Oh. Maybe I misread
We'll fact check that, because I might be wrong, he might be wrong, we both might be wrong. Who cares?
But this woman loses her shit over this smut. She breaks
fucking
a mirror. She's like cussing the kid out, calling him stupid.
Joan Crawford wire hangers level of fucking freak out. Like, and when she throws the picture into the mirror, like, she throws her whole body into the mirror, like, no, like, not hums the picture, her entire arm, like, she's like, ah, and she softball pitches her whole body into the goddamn mirror. I'm like, lady, are you alright? Like, this is not worth killing yourself over. Your son is still a boy. He's gonna, like, look at naked ladies. It's gonna happen.
Well, thankfully she sends him to go get a trash bag, but the fucker comes back with a fucking axe and chops her to shit.
First blood, less than 2 minutes into the movie. As opposed to First Blood in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 40 minutes. This was like, nah, you want blood? We give you blood. And that fake, beautiful, thick, corn syrupy, not quite blood red, nice cherry red. It was that goopy crap. And I'm like, I love it.
I absolutely stand by that this was the perfect follow-up to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It was just enough of, I don't know if I've ever made my this face, like, more times during a film. I was like, what the fuck just happened? It goes from, like, 2 to 12, like, woo, really fast. Like, what the fuck? Oh.
Funny thing about this one is, like I said, it's a Spanish language film originally. But somehow it has every earmark of an Italian giallo film. We're talking vibrant, overly colored blood, brutal as fuck kills.
Over-dramatic acting.
The black-gloved killer, and even down to the fact that you have people who aren't cops investigating the killings.
Why would you have a, like, 17 to 20-year-old kid helping lead investigators try and solve a multiple murder case where parts of the bodies are missing? Like,
it's extremely unrealistic.
Also, that little boy actor was fucking sadistic looking, and I want to know how he did after all of this. So we're going to need you to take this axe and pretend to mutilate your mom while blood's thrown through the air. And we want you to smile and laugh. Excuse me. Like something's, like, you're just maniacal. And I'm just like, I wrote a note that's like, how is this child actor doing now? Is he all right?
He probably stopped acting.
Yeah, huh? Oh, first pun of the night. So when lead investigators show up and, you know, they're like, something's wrong, we can't get in the house, like neighbor or mother, I don't know what. They get in the house and they open one of the doors and it's just her head, and I was like, oh, she got ahead of herself. Pun number 1. Also, shout out to the Spanish, like, director putting a New England Patriots flag on the wall. Nice touch. Nice touch.
Trying to sell Valencia
As
fucking...
a New Englander, I went, huh, that's great. Also, that flag is not reflective of what the Patriots flags looked like in 1982.
Absolutely not.
Nope. It was terrifying.
So, it doesn't take long to get into the meat of this movie. Right off the bat, the killer gives no fucks.
Nope.
Whatsoever. In our first kill, well, second kill if you count the mother, this guy walks out in broad fucking daylight and decapitates a bitch in a short skirt with a chainsaw.
Like, broad daylight. Like, her skirt, while she's lying on the ground, is fanned out under her, but it's just, like, peekabooing her ass so it looks funny. And she's, like, looking at this dude over her shoulder who has broad daylight, sunglasses, a hat, a face covering, a turtleneck, and a trench coat, with a chainsaw cutting branches above her. Bitch, run! Run! What is wrong with you?
Another side note, the killer in this movie was actually modeled directly after the comic book character The Shadow.
I don't know who that is.
They actually did a movie adaptation of him that falls into our category. So we can actually review that at some point.
My next note just says Hilda Fuchs. Fuchs is spelled Fuchs. And I just looked up who she played. The secretary.
Congratulations, Hilda Fuchs.
Oh my god. This poor lady's actual name is Hilda Fuchs.
The opening credits for this movie, actually all the credits, are pretty damn bland, but in the most beautiful way.
I appreciated because they were nice. They were like lower font. I was appreciated, and then just that gem, which I had to pause and rewind and go, I swear to God that just said Fox. And we went back to it, and it does, and we both laughed.
By the way, it took me about 5 minutes into this one to realize that every single female we were going to meet is a complete slut.
Well, I don't know if... Okay, the tennis girl wasn't a slut. I don't think. Hang on, pause. Yeah? Okay. I don't think the tennis girl was a slut. She was more of like, just... Her tennis skirt was short, but I feel like he was going after... Well, this is catching a hot, but he was going after a certain type. So he was aiming for types. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I don't understand the second scene after the credits where the girl is skateboarding. And then there's a mirror and she runs into it. What happened?
I don't think that scene in particular had any real reason for being in the movie. It was kind of just filler.
Yeah.
And stupid filler at that.
Exactly.
However, that girl, the girl playing the skateboarder, actually is the exact same actress that gets decapitated with the chainsaw as the second kill. It's the same actress, different characters.
Wait, the blonde? Or the redhead?
The one that was laying out on the lawn?
But she was a brunette that went through the mirror. And then she was a redhead on...
Probably a wig.
In the graph. What in the world?
They probably just...
This is not the BBC. You have more than 5 actors and 3 sets. Come on.
One more point I'd like to make about the Italian style of this movie. They even go as far as to have some of the actors speaking English and some speaking their native languages.
I love the dubs.
And overdubbing all of it in the worst way.
Oh my god. Like, I pay attention when we get to these giallo type films. I pay attention to see who's actually mouthing English and who's not. And there were only a couple people that were not mouthing English. Like, I would say 4 total out of the whole cast. Most of the main cast, they were all speaking English. You could tell. But, like, one of the girls that got killed, she was not speaking English. And it was like, oh my god, as a fan of Japanese anime, and animation. I appreciate a bad dub. I do. And these are bad. They're so bad. Oh, I say it twice. I love the dub crap, and it says seriously, I fucking love the dub crap. One of the other comments from that opener where they were talking, they were like all in a group, a bunch of the kids, and they were like, "Oh, look, our favorite professor's here. I'm gonna ask him a question." She's walking up to him, tits out in a white shirt, and I'm like she's walking like this, going, "My friends are making fun of me because I don't know what a peck is. What's a peck?" Like, this teacher looks like, can you go away? I don't want anything to do with you. Like, and all I remember from that scene is water beds, fucking, and pot.
Yeah.
Like, that whole scene, I was like, tits, waterbed, fucking, and pot. I'm like, what's wrong with Giallo filmmakers? Are they all right? Do we need to check on them?
Well, luckily we now know that it's not a Giallo film.
No, but it's like
Mimics one.
It's a mimic, but it's, oh my god.
I don't know. I stand by the fact that like every motherfucker in this movie felt like they were just overly sexed up, and like even down to like the pool scene. Like, they introduced that scene with, like, alluring, sexy sax music.
Why was she wearing cowboy boots? You catch that she was wearing cowboy boots, and she had a bathing suit under, which I appreciated. And then, like, in the middle of nothing, she's like, my top went off. I'm like, bitch, you're getting in a pool. Put your fucking top back on.
Well, to be fair, she did invite the main kid to the pool.
Yeah.
To bang.
Unnecessary sexy sax music. That was the music in this was either dun 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 or bum 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 bum. It's like Major American or like what? I'm like, this movie's having a seizure.
This movie had a lot of problems. I mean, like, for a good long period, they didn't dedicate any focus to trying to give us a main character.
No.
It was
they
just
gave
scene
us
after
shoes
scene.
And gloves. And after a while, I will say, they did give us little Easter eggs. I figured out who the killer was based on the pattern on the door. I was like, and you heard me, I went, oh, got it. But it was one of those like, all right, okay, not as bad as I thought it would be. Like, I'm actually pretty happy. But still, fucked up movie.
Also, why the hell, and this goes for a lot of movies, but this one in particular, I kind of went in expecting every single broad in this movie to be dumber than shit and like barely attempt to save their own lives, and that's exactly what ended up happening.
Look, let's talk about the girl in the swimming pool, okay? One, the first girl got her head cut off. And somebody said, what did the murderer want with her head? And I instantly went, skull fucking. Like, that's what my brain thought. And I was like, you're a terrible person, Leah, but all I can see is like some dude prying open her mouth and just going to fucking town. And I was like, in my head going, is that going too far? No, not with these type of films. I could fucking see that with this type of film. But it wouldn't be shown like fully like this. It would be a dude like this going, like not even like a nice sex face. It would be like, the other one, okay? I hope he keeps the faces in, because this scene just, it really did. Like, I'm sitting here going, what? My pun for that death scene was, I bet you her name was Annette.
Oh,
so he
God.
gets a pool net, and he's dragging her by her head. Bitch, go under and get away. You had every opportunity to run away. Even when he pulled you up and you were like, roll back into the pool and swim, bitch.
To be fair, and throughout this movie, I had ample opportunity to do a bunch of research on the actual production. Because there was long sequences of dialogue where I didn't have much to say.
Yeah. So,
to be fair, that scene was apparently actually shot in the middle of winter and the actress almost froze to death in the pool. So I definitely can understand
Y'all
her
don't
not
have
being able to
heated
move very
pools
fast.
in Spain. Really? You can't... I'm sorry, not Spain. It was filmed in Italy. My bad. Y'all couldn't, like, at least... This is a Spanish film. It was filmed in Italy. You're telling me the entire country of Italy, and there wasn't a heated pool you could go to? You let her freeze? It was indoors.
That's a solid point. It's a Spanish language film shot in Italy.
Shot in Italy.
Therefore, is it a giallo? It's technically an Italian film.
Oh, we're going to have to check that. I mean, I would like to call this a giallo-esque movie because it has, I mean, I've only seen two. I've seen Suspiria and I've seen The Beyond. And let me tell you,
We'll fix
this,
that.
yeah, this mimics those two. Like, yeah. That character's name wasn't Annette, it was Grace. And I was like, she died so ungracefully. I really thought... Also, the other note I have is fucking in the bushes, because two people were just fucking in broad daylight behind some bushes.
And that went nowhere.
Ass out. Yeah, it was just like,
I
the
expected-
killer was just like...
I expected them to get slaughtered. But
Was that the killer or was that the groundskeeper? The weird, like, one-eyed... like, that
might have
dude.
been the
I think it was the groundskeeper. That, and... I wrote this down. I don't exactly remember where it came in, but Professor Sugarplum. Is that because
the girls
later...
were talking about the professor while he was walking by.
That... I was like, why would they call him Professor Sugarplum? But it in turn goes to one of the facts in the end of the movie that the dean actually tells Mary that Professor
Whatever his name was.
Brown?
Brown, yes.
Professor Brown is Professor Brown is the homosexual. He had such a bad English accent too. And I feel like it was a real English accent that he was trying to like exaggerate. It was like, tip tip cheerio. It was like really bad. Really bad.
So, before we stray too far from it, the pool death.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, why in the fuck would a police detective rather have the opinion of a professor that has nothing to really do with the investigation than wait for the coroner to show up and tell him what the fuck happened?
Because he suspected him. So I kind of clued in on that one. One, they thought it was him from the beginning because he's an anatomy teacher. So they thought he was the killer,
that's a solid
having
point.
like a knowledge of anatomy. So when it's coming up that he's taking pieces of the girls, they thought, oh, well, let's talk to this guy. And what made me think it was Professor Brown is he touched the chainsaw, which would completely null any evidence if he actually did use the chainsaw.
That's right.
So he spoiled evidence, and he's an anatomy professor. So, yeah, they should have waited for the coroner, but I think the detective was actually like, oh, okay. No, come here. I just want your opinion.
You're right.
Like, how do you think this was done? Oh, any idiot could see this was done with a chainsaw. Really? Any idiot? Are you the idiot that did it? Like, I see where they were going with that.
I didn't even think of that. All right. For anyone who hasn't seen this movie, for anyone who plans to watch it,
Oh, good God.
be prepared. The performances throughout this movie are awful.
I'm so tired of girls being murdered sounding like they're moaning during sex. And then the only one girl that was in the sex scene was screaming like she was being murdered.
Yeah. I mean, case in point, like, this movie is just loaded with sexual innuendo.
In every innuendo. Get it?
Case in point, obligatory aerobics dance sequence that is being watched by the killer, who sounds like he's heavy breathing, like he's jerking off.
Literally, he sounds like this. And I did it during the movie at one point to Shawn, and he's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm mimicking the killer." Like, I'm just sitting here like, and all I have to say is, my dad used to call people like this that would stand like right behind him. So we'd always go to Disney as kids. Always. I'm sick of Disney. Just saying. But when you're a tourist pre-COVID, like years ago, people would be up your ass in lines. I mean, in any line, in food, rides, getting in. And people would literally... You'd hear it. My dad calls them mouth breathers. So I'm calling this the mouth breather killer. Because he literally would just, like, sound like he's jacking off every time he's about ready to kill these girls. It's ridiculous.
I get the idea, because it follows a very similar concept to, like, the stuff they did in Friday the 13th, where you had Jason's heavy breathing.
Wearing a mask.
Yes.
That, like, you can hear that in a mask. This man is just out in the open. Like, at one point,
Maybe
one of
he's
the girls...
pent up.
One of the girls looks at him and goes, "Oh, hello, sir." So obviously she can see his fucking face. Why are you breathing like that? Do you have a cold? Would you like some tea?
I absolutely love the super 70s synth score, even though this was an 80s movie.
Oh, well, it was 82, so, and usually, like, stuff that's really popular in America, in other countries, takes a little while to get there.
That's true.
So, that, they probably didn't get to, like, the really weird, like, 80s synth pop yet, and they were still using, like, that 70s kind of feel.
Right.
I liked the score. I did. It was fucking everywhere, but I liked the doom, doom, doom. I liked that. That was kind of cool. The music they were dancing to in the aerobics class, what was that?
I can't even tell you. This film has been described in the past as almost as having an almost self-reflexive awareness that it's an exploitation film. And this can be seen throughout in its randomness. The skateboarding girl at the beginning, which made no fucking sense.
No sense. Well, I do have a point with that, but keep going. I thought about this.
The whole martial arts random scene.
What was with the kung fu teachers? What?
So there's actually a reason for that, and it's not. God. It has nothing to do with the film itself, but the reason that that's in there is that's a cameo from a Bruce Lee impersonator, who apparently the writer-producer of the movie, Rick Randall, at the same time as doing Pieces, he was working on a bunch of kung fu exploitation films. So he just kind of threw that guy in there.
Sir, I want a 5-page paper as to why you thought this made any goddamn sense. Adding a kung fu dude to a movie about killing some bitches. Where did that man make sense?
He didn't. He's an exploitation writer. He doesn't have to.
There needs to be some cohesive material. Like, just give me a little.
Just you fucking wait.
Oh, God. This isn't even the tip of the weirdo iceberg, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Oh, great.
It gets so much worse.
One of the comments I have is, watch out for Mary with your penis. Because they tell Kendall, which is the lead dude, to pay attention to Mary because Mary's 9 to 5 is working as a detective, but her hobby is being a professional tennis player. Those are two really big jobs in themselves, okay? And he tells Kendall, watch out for Mary. This is a 17 to 20-year-old kid. They're saying, oh, watch out for this professional detective. She can't protect herself. I'm sorry, what? All right. Also, they were playing tennis all wrong. So, there was no, like, bounce before they hit the ball. And it actually made me irritated. I was like, you're a professional tennis player. And you're just going, eh. When you hit it, you have to let it bounce once, and then you hit it back. And they went to something 40. No. Once you hit 40, that's love, and you're winning the game. I'm not, fact check me if you want. I don't remember 100%, but I'm really sure they fucked up the tennis.
You think a bunch of exploitation filmmakers knew and or gave a shit?
You're in Italy. There are multiple libraries. Do your research.
They don't care.
Oh my God.
Before we might as well get this out of the way. How did you feel about the gore in this film?
There should have been more.
There definitely should have been more.
There should have been more. I mean, the opening scene is him literally hammering an axe into his mom's head. And the blood was everywhere. There wasn't much blood for the first kill. The second kill, there was a lot of blood, but I would have expected the pool to be red and the floor to, like, it's what I said about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Chainsaws make a big fucking mess. Why wasn't there more blood? There was more blood with the knife stabbing scene in the waterbed than there was in the other ones, except for the torso girl. That was a lot of blood.
That's very true. Most of the guts, blood, and gore of all kinds throughout this film is actually taken from real animals that they got from a slaughterhouse.
So you're telling me these poor girls were covered in actual animal blood?
Yep.
Oh, God. The smell.
When the tennis player gets killed in that like little shower room, that was actually them sawing through a pig carcass.
So gross. Okay. So, my other note, one of it is, I'm not sure what the fuck is happening with this plot anymore. And then it goes to, why did he wait 40 years to take his next victim?
That's a good fucking question.
So, the scene where his mom, like, boom, throws herself against the mirror with the picture, comes up again when the girl rides the skateboard through the mirror. So I wonder if that's a metaphor for the killer's mind snapping, because prior we see him taking all the stuff out. In the beginning, he takes his mom's bloody shoes out, he takes his mom's dress out, and he takes a picture of his mom out with an X.
You see, I like that way of thinking, and it makes a lot of sense that that's what that's supposed to mean. But at the same time, he wasn't there to see her do that.
No, but what if it's a representation
of just that moment?
Yes, of that moment where he finds this stuff and he takes it out and his brain snaps. Granted,
Alright.
it is a really long path to make it there, but it's like, I can see where A and B could have connected.
I guess I get it, but I honestly,
It's a long
I feel like
stretch.
he should have like seen that, like whether it be out the window or something.
What if he did, and that's a scene that they didn't add into it because of time?
They should have cut out the rest of it.
If you're going to cut out everything, cut out that whole scene. There's no reason for it. Because the biggest plot hole is, why did it take 40 years? Because they say right in the beginning, 40 years later.
Yeah.
Why did he become a respectable... I don't want to give away the killer yet, but why did he become a respectable person at the college? To be able, for years and years and years, build up that, to end up just killing, like, I don't know if it was between, like, 5 to 7 people randomly?
I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, honestly, maybe like 20 years, but 40?
Yeah. Or like he did little killings, but nobody could ever figure it out.
Even if it was like animals.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently this is Eli Roth's favorite slasher film of all time.
Who's Eli Roth?
Cabin Fever, Hostel.
Seen Cabin Fever. I like Cabin Fever. I also think Cabin Fever is a terrible film, but we'll get there.
We won't get there.
Oh, thank God.
That's early
The best
2000s.
thing about that movie is Ryder Strong. And I'm not talking about his acting. I'm just talking about his face.
That's a movie, without getting into too much detail on it, that's definitely a movie that you have to go into with a certain mindset.
It's weird. Like, it's not horrible, but it's like, oh, this is bad, guys. This just seems very stretch and unrealistic. Like, my horror, I love horror that is, and I'm waiting because of the pandemic for all of these, like, weird pandemic fucking horror movies.
Oh, you know it's coming.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be great. But I like a little bit of realism in my horror. There was no realism about Cabin Fever, but we gotta go back to topic. So we're gonna leave Cabin Fever where it is because we never have to review it, and I'm so happy, either the original or the remake.
Jumping back a minute, something I forgot to mention was that random aerobics dance sequence thing.
Yes.
Apparently, the director originally thought it made more sense if all the women in it had been naked.
In what world, sir? In what world?
I'm not sure where he was going with that. Apparently, it was the main instructor that was supposed to be in the class. She was an actual instructor that they hired for that scene. And because she refused to be naked on film, they didn't go that way. But
Thank you, madam. There was no need for that much nudity.
I don't know what the point of it would have been.
Bouncing titties.
Yeah, but like, there's no reason a
Vaginas
class,
out in the open, all full bush.
but a class would never be held in the nude.
Oh no, there's nude aerobics. There's nude yoga. There's all sorts of nude stuff.
Yeah, but at that time,
It looked like that was pretty late, unless, you know, I don't know. There was no point. I can see where the director's going. He's a dude. He wanted naked ladies. Naked ladies sell movies.
yeah, but Jesus Christ.
And they're different in Europe. They're not like us. We're like, oh no, we can't have nudity on our films. Like, they are okay with it. It's like kids start drinking when they're young. They got nudity on cable TV. It's not a big deal.
I feel like this is a hard film to like step by step go through.
I did my best, and I still have a page and a half. So,
Well, I mean, in terms of like scene by scene, like trying to take an audience through this, it's literally just kill by kill, investigation by investigation. Like,
but I think that's the beauty of these kind of movies. There is not supposed to be like, we're not supposed to get like a Zodiac killer. Or, like, yeah, the Zodiac Killer type movie, or the Seven type movie where it's, like, build suspense. You got all this shit. No, it is, like, quick and dirty. Get in there, bam, you're done. Like, this is literally a quick and dirty movie.
That's very true.
And it's nice, because every once in a while you're like, I just want to watch something stupid. I want a stupid movie that I can sit here and be like, all right.
For all intents and purposes, this movie is stupid.
It is, but it is a beautiful kind of stupid.
Oh, it's a gorgeous kind of stupid.
I don't know how to, like...
It's fun. You don't have to think too much about it.
No.
It is exactly what the tagline is. It's
Pieces.
It's exactly what you think it's gonna be.
Pieces. Like, let's see. Can't anyone else? Oh. Bitch, stop running in your tap shoes. He can hear you. It's kind of the same thing I pointed out in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't scream. He can hear you. She's running in tap shoes. He knows where you are. Also, don't turn off the lights. And does anybody else hear a fucking chainsaw in the middle of the night?
They did try to cover that up in the tennis player scene.
Yes.
Because he played the music.
That was it. Why in broad daylight, but the middle of the night where it's dead fucking quiet, would you not try to... Like, the minute Kendall heard her screaming in the elevator, but didn't hear the chainsaw.
I don't really understand
Was that man think with his penis? Like, I hear a lady in trouble. They're screaming. Like, but you don't hear the
My
fucking...
cock senses are tingling.
It's tingling because I got it caught in the door of the elevator. I'm going up, and so is it. Another pun. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this movie cost a bit to make. Because he took her arms in
Oh
that
my
scene.
god.
Come on. At this point, after she said, "Hello, sir," I was like, I'm calling it. It's the dean. I'm calling it. I'm calling the killer. It's the dean. They've put so much emphasis on the janitor at this point, but they keep showing the shoes and the leg, and the janitor was a bigger guy.
Yeah.
They keep showing the professor, but this guy keeps wearing black pants and black shoes. The Professor Brown, is wearing brown pants and brown shoes. So they are paying...
A little on the nose, don't you
Yeah,
think?
they're paying attention to detail. That they're like, oh, the ridiculous in this movie, you're never going to figure it out. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, no, I figured it out.
In case you didn't guess, it's the fucking dean.
It's the dean. Yep. Then there's the wonderful scene of Kendall in bed with a girl. And when I'm not kidding you when I tell you, all the other girls are like, No, stop killing me. This chick, while they're having sex, is full on, like screaming. And I'm like, muffle the bitch. Put a pillow on her face. Like, what is going on? And then he gets up and it's just fucking ass and penis. And I'm like, oh, I did not know I was watching a porn. Thank you very much. I'm so used to lady titties. I'm not used to schlong.
It's not a very popular thing here in America.
No. I mean, we got schlong with Game of Thrones, but I also feel like that was an international show.
Right.
I'm trying to remember what other shows I've seen dick on. Obviously Sex in the City, but that was HBO, so that was paid.
Probably things
premium
like
cable
Oz.
Thing. Oz did, but that was, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. That was
a paid channel show.
That was a paid channel, but it wasn't like HBO. That was
It's like Showtime, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. So we take out HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax. Take those three out. I've never, I've seen the pubic bonal area. I can't think of another movie that shows schlong.
I have one extremely prime example.
Okay.
It's a movie called Antichrist.
Shows peen?
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of peen?
Put it this way. The opening sequence of this movie is two people going at it while something else is happening. But it keeps cutting back and forth. And the whole thing is shot in super slow motion. And I promise you, no. You get gratuitous, sexual movement, but they do an extreme close-up of dick going into vagine.
Oh, that's that.
In super slow-mo.
Okay, so you've been on a movie set. You weren't present for that filming. But you've been on a movie set with a lady full frontal nudity. That must have been fucking awkward. And there was no...
Surprisingly, not that awkward.
Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, on movie sets, they tend to keep everything...
That's like a closed thing, right?
Yeah, so if you have a nude scene or a sex scene or anything like that in a proper film... They will kind of clear the set of all non-essential personnel. You get maybe the sound guy, the director, and one other person.
Yeah.
They try to make it as comfortable for the actor or actress as possible. In something like Pieces, I doubt they did that, but here we are.
Oh, God. I have a fun fact for you that I learned during the movie. The woman who plays Mary is married in real life, or was until he passed away, to the guy that played the lieutenant.
Really?
Her last name was George, and his last name I think was George. Let me just make sure that I'm not lying. Yeah, so Mary Rigg was played by Linda Day, and Linda Day was married to Christopher George.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, and I saw that when I was just kind of checking. They actually have the name of the movie in Spanish on here. I apologize to Spanish-speaking people. This is going to be painful. I do Asian languages. I'm not good at this. Mil gritos tiene la noche, which translates to the night has 1,000 screams. Oof. But yeah, she's married, until his death in 1983, so he died the year after this film was made.
Wow.
Yeah. Holy shit. Hang on. I need to... Death. He died of a heart attack at the age of 52 in 1983. And this movie was made in 1982, so the dude died the next year.
God damn.
Holy shit, man.
That's crazy.
That sucks.
Oh, but, I don't know how a movie called Pieces only has a body count of 7.
Okay, it's not the body count, it's the limbs that count. There were a lot of limbs. That
Yes.
that second girl was limb from limb because he took her torso.
Right.
So he left all the rest of the pieces of her.
I do absolutely admit, like, the kills that we do get are far more brutal than most.
Chef's kiss. They are beautiful.
I wish there was more than 7, but...
I mean, find me a movie, or find us a movie that has a big kill count. There's got to be a movie out there.
There's tons.
Is there one of those, like, seedy underbelly ones with a big kill count? Like,
oh, yeah.
I am staring at one, and I reference this one all the time, but I don't know if we'll actually ever watch this. I'm looking at a film called Dog Dick in your collection.
That one doesn't really have a body count at all.
No? Oh, but
That's
like
not
those
that
type
kind
of
of a
films.
movie.
Yeah, we're not, I don't know if we'll touch those movies. Like, there are a couple movies you described that I'm like, yeah, I ain't watching that.
There's a good amount of them we could cover because a lot of them came out of like the 90s and shit like that. But
that's like, I don't know if I'll watch that.
That's a dark territory.
So, at one point, a reporter for the Boston Globe shows up out of nowhere and is asking, what's happening around here? And everybody's like, I don't know what you're talking about. At this point, 4 people have been killed. People have to be talking about this. Just saying, I don't know what you're talking about, looks kind of fucking sus. Like, really, really sus. You dumb.
I hate that you're using the term sus right now.
Look, I've played Among Us. I watch popular YouTubers. At least I don't do the sheesh thing like my little sister does. She does this where YouTubers can see it. They go, sheesh. I don't know what that means. 100%. And she did it to me when she came up. When was she last up? It was like July?
Something like that, yeah.
June? July?
Which, by the way, Abby, if you're listening or watching, the next time you come up, I want a goddamn explanation as to what the fuck that means.
The poor girl's gotten called out twice, and she's probably like, why do you keep calling me? I don't know what you're talking about. It's going to be beautiful to watch her cry. Beautiful. So the note I have here is, reporter, if you think something's going on this college campus, like girls being alone or being killed, why are you roaming around in the middle of the night in a white dress? Hi, I'm cannon fodder for the plot. I'm moving target. Somebody kill me. Literally. He could have gone after everybody, but because she should have gone, I think something's going on. And he's like, nope, gotta take you out.
Plot device.
That was a good kind of like, oh no, I gotta get her. That was pretty good. I'm proud of this movie for little things. Because when we watched the movie The Beyond and Suspiria, I'm just sitting there going, where's the plot? I don't understand where the plot went. It was like, come back.
Well, to be fair,
way.
movies like The Beyond and Suspiria are much more...
They're art pieces, I feel.
they're much more meant to be closer to fairy tale-like. So
Yeah.
it's a whole different world.
I was so proud of the killer for pulling out a knife. A less noisy weapon. And then, when he's doing his stabby thing and turning her over and he stabs the waterbed and there's water and blood and everything.
Dude.
It was beautiful.
That fucking waterbed scene, and this goes into normally what we would be talking about at the end of the episode, but that is my favorite scene in this movie. That scene was so well executed.
He's got her pinned down. She's struggling. She's on a waterbed. There's water. Her clothes are getting heavier. This one made sense.
What, dude? The slow motion alone in that sequence.
It's like
It
the water going everywhere.
It not
and-
only-
oh God.
it not only added so much to the moment, but it throws everything into this like prolonged brutality.
Oh God.
You see him just
He's just
stabbing
fucking
away
stabbing
at her.
abdomen, chest, fucking shoulder, and then he turns her around. Her dress is halfway up her ass. Her panties are falling off. Her boobs almost coming out. He turns her over, and they missed this, and it made me laugh. He brings the knife down to put it into her skull, and the fake knife goes whoop and bends at her neck. And I'm like, oh, you had me for there.
Oh man.
And then the kill. That was
Oh, that kill was awesome.
Right through the back of the skull into the mouth. And she's just like, oh! I was like, oh, even the noise was beautiful.
I already said it once, but the kills in this movie are brutal
good.
as fuck. They're
So good.
cheesy, bloody. They're so goddamn good.
Oh,
I love it. I loved every second of the murder scenes.
I would love that to be like, you know how on Facebook now you can do that page picture? I want there to be a video, and I just want that killed over.
You can set that as a video.
That would be amazing if YouTube wouldn't be like, or Facebook wouldn't be like, please don't put, this is very graphic.
I'll do it.
I know you will.
I'll do it. Leave me
Oh.
a comment somewhere, and I'll absolutely set that as our Grindhouse Facebook banner.
Oh God. And Facebook shuts us down.
Try me, Facebook.
So after that kill,
Let's go, Zuckerberg.
Did they ever find her? They don't
I don't
mention
think they
finding
did.
her. So they do this brutal, beautiful kill, and he doesn't get any credit for that one. Nothing. They don't say anything.
He gets credit in here.
In his heart. In his heart of hearts. So I laughed because Kendall and Mary, he saw Mary outside snooping, and that's why the reporter's running around. And Kendall escorts her back to her dorm room, whatever. And he looks at her and says, can I come in for some coffee? And she's like, not tonight. Is coffee slang for sex? Was that a big thing? I feel like that was a big thing in the 80s or 90s when guys would be like, oh, can I come in for some coffee? And the girl would be like, yeah, sure. Or, no coffee tonight. Was that like a...
I think that's what they were going for,
yeah. Like, nowadays, I'd look at someone and be like, do you want to come in for coffee? Oh my God, I would love a cup of coffee. To me, that's not like...
It's just coffee.
Yeah,
I want
coffee is my
coffee.
vagina. No, that's not. Coffee is just coffee to me.
I want coffee.
I want good coffee.
Instead, I get sludge.
Sludge. Okay, so
I don't mean to shit on this coffee so much, but
it's not our
this
thing.
flavor's not for
But
me.
I will say, when Shawn and I first started dating, you didn't drink coffee when I first started dating. You only drank coffee on sets.
Yeah, it was something I kind of reserved just for that.
And then we worked at a company together. I got him a job at a company that I worked at when we first started dating. And I would always have either a Dunkin' Donuts coffee or a Starbucks coffee. I always aim for cold brew black. Straight cold brew black, no water if I can, because I don't think my heart should be in my chest. I think it should be outside of my body beating as fast as possible. And he slowly kind of started getting more into coffee. Cut to, now the man has he has a, what is it called?
Chemex.
You have a Chemex, and we have pour over coffee. We heat up a hot water kettle, and we do pour over coffee. We don't do Keurig. We don't do Nespresso. Although Nespresso is a good one, and I think I'm gonna hound my friend Jess to be like, give me a Nespresso. And we don't do like regular coffee makers. So our coffee takes a little bit in the morning to make because you gotta heat up the water, do the grounds, run it over.
Are you kidding? This is 1,000 times faster than the coffee maker we had.
Honestly, and it's 1,000 times better. So we both will tell you, get a Chemex. Get a pour-over system. It is so much better.
Yeah.
The next step we're going to do is grind our own beans. Like,
Oh,
that's
I
our
cannot
next step.
wait for that.
We've got 2 whole beans over there. We've got James Coffee, which is Peter McKinnon's coffee brand?
No.
Or-
He
no?
just Peter McKinnon does like some advertising and stuff for them.
Okay.
And he works
But it's the
closely
brand
with
he
them.
works closely with.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Strike that. I'm a liar. Peter has Pete's Pirate Life, which is like jewelry and a couple other things.
Bunch of shit.
Oh
It's a bunch
Peter
of
McKinnon, if you ever watch this.
shit. What up, P-Mac?
Oh, God. That's your nickname for us. We'll call you P-Mac. It's a great name. Great name. Great coffee. Great name. Anyways, back to the... I have a little bone to pick with this movie, though.
Just one?
I have several boners to pick. Why are they leaning into the narrative that sex causes violence or creates violence?
Because that was a huge theme in the 70s and 80s.
In the 80s, right. Like violence, sex and violence in video games and the satanic panic, all of that went hand in hand. Yeah. And it aggravates me because now, I'm sorry, I'll fight with anybody till they're blue in the face. Sex does not lead to murder. Violence in video games and movies doesn't really lead to murder.
No.
Satanic panic was not caused by video games and sex. Like, I was born in 1985, so I don't really know that much about it, but I follow all of that pretty fucking closely now. And Jesus Christ, what was wrong with people thinking like, oh my god, video games are poisoning our children's minds? I'm pretty sure Fortnite is poisoning kids' minds now. Because Fortnite's, that culture is weird.
TikTok is fucking poisoning people's minds.
I know. I feel really, dumb sometimes when I get into TikTok. And I've scrolled. I did it earlier today, and I was just scrolling, and I got to that, stop. You've been watching TikTok way too long. And then I realized that only pops up for, every 90 minutes for me. I spent an hour and a half just mindlessly scrolling through TikTok.
Jesus.
But, my TikTok's, witchcraft, fucking K-pop, some weird spoopy Halloween horror stuff. It's not really the mainstream ones.
Thank God.
Yeah, I like my weird ball of strange TikToks. But yeah, I was a little wait a minute. I hate the fact that the 80s and 90s had this weird narrative that sex leads to violence. I'm sorry, how do you make babies? You make babies with sex. It feels good. Obviously, people are going to do it. If it didn't feel good, people wouldn't do it. You're not going to press a button to get electrocuted. If that button makes you feel good, you're going to fucking press that shit all day.
But even with the progression of the horror genre today, that theme still runs deep in the veins of the entire genre. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be built in somewhere.
And I know I've said this to you many times where I'm like, why is there so much sex and nudity in horror? But you get it. After a while, it fucking sells. All the Friday the 13th shit is based on, my kid drowned because you guys were too busy having fucking sex.
Well, to be fair, it's actually one of the most obvious things that should be included in horror, not because of nudity and sex scenes make money, but because when you're in the position of having sex, that is one of the most vulnerable positions you can be in. Mm-hmm. If somebody's coming to kill you while you're having sex, there is almost nothing you can do. You're gonna die.
Your penis is literally either in a vagina or an ass, or you're two ladies that are hot and heavy at each other. How in the world do you protect yourself, run, and then, I'm going to get really graphic, and then if you've already, came a couple of times, your legs are fucking jello. You ain't going anywhere. You're just
fucked.
I'm going to run away from the killer. How can you when you got cum legs? Really? I hate some of the things I'm saying, but I'm just going to say it anyways. I don't even care. I'm sorry, Mom.
If you haven't guessed, this podcast is not for children.
If you're a child watching this, stop. Get help.
Find your parents. Ask them what the fuck they did wrong.
Just look at your parents and be like, Mom, Dad, should I be listening to these two fucking idiots? This movie has also made me realize that sexual deviants have breathing problems.
Apparently.
That man was breathing like he just ran a marathon and had asthma the whole time. But I was like, why do people, and it happens in a lot of movies, where the sexual pervert or the deviant is like, they even did it in kids' cartoons with Hey Arnold. The dude that Helga would punch, he'd be standing behind her going...
Oh, Eugene. Not Eugene.
I don't remember his name.
Fuck.
But, why would he be standing behind her breathing like that? Because he likes her? That's the only thing I can think of.
Honestly, that motherfucker sounded like he needed a goddamn iron lung.
Boy, you about to die.
I got one more fun fact for you before we delve too deep.
Fun fact.
I believe it was the tennis victim.
Mm-hmm.
Where she got chased into that little room, and you actually see her, like, they do a close-up. She, like, pees herself.
Yes.
That was real.
That was real?
That was real.
I put that, it was like, the piss was a nice touch. I put that note.
No, she apparently was so terrified during that scene that she actually pissed herself because they were operating a real chainsaw that close to her.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I would pee myself too.
That would not fly today.
No. Also, that tennis player had a weak scream. I was really, really upset by it.
I feel like a lot of the women in this had weak screams.
Except for that girl Kendall was fucking. Man, she had fucking lungs on her. Like seriously. She was like a bird screaming. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Also, pun for the tennis girl. Her name was Susie, so I went, aw, Susie's only half of herself now. She was cut in half.
Oof.
Oh, yeah. Throughout the whole movie, they tried to make it seem like the janitor was the one that killed people. But the janitor was just really creepy. He was just really creepy. It wasn't until the janitor was like, these aren't my keys.
That janitor looked like he stepped out of a fucking Scooby-Doo episode.
If you meddling kids hadn't... Yeah.
He was big, lurching forward the whole time.
And one eye open.
Had one eye shut.
Did you notice he switched eyes at one point?
Did he?
He did.
I didn't even
it was
notice
only
that.
one scene. I was like, wait a minute, you just switched your eyes. Did you have, like, he was like he did that. I was like, you all right? Did you need to blink and I'm not sure how to do it?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, my note when I realized the doors matched an earlier scene, I was like, fuck this fucker. It's the fucking Dean. The doors match. I hate you. That's what I wrote. Like, what is wrong with you? That scene, like, from the moment she was like, oh, I'm going to go see the Dean. Oh, he's gone all day. He should be back soon. Oh, okay.
Too obvious.
Too obvious. Way too obvious. And then she gets there and he's like, why don't you come in? No, I just have a question for you out here. Well, why don't you come in then? Oh, it's silly being out here.
Oh my god, I absolutely loved towards the end after the reveal and everything, and then they like come in, find her like all drugged out, and the entire sequence she's laying there staring towards the curtains,
staring
going
at
like
the
this,
curtains like,
and nobody thinks to go.
And he's like, okay, stand up, let's go. And I'm like, this is a horror movie. The bitch is trying to tell you something with her
Nobody
eyes.
thinks to at least look over in the direction that she's
looking.
looking.
What are you trying to tell me, Lassie? Did Timmy fall down the well? Is Timmy behind the curtain about ready to stab me? Like, come on.
Oh my god, it was awful.
Oh, that kitchen was weird. So we're in the Dean's apartment or whatever, and it was like an L-shaped thing to where it had like a cooker, because I think that's what they were called. They weren't ovens. It was like a cooker, and it was like a microwave and cupboards, and then a cabinet, and then it was French glass doors that opened up to tile everywhere. This is how I knew it wasn't Boston. That is an Italian fucking kitchen right there. Italian.
Yeah.
And it was like the oven and something else, and I was like, this looks like it was a bathroom and they threw shit in there to make it look like a kitchen. I was like, what is this?
I don't know who the fuck designed that place, but it was weird.
Italians. It
Kudos.
it looked really fancy, and I was kind of at one point like, huh, I like that. Let's go retro like that. Big old glass door, so, you know, when you're real drunk at night and you're like, doo-doo, I'm gonna get a sandwich. Right through the glass. I would actually probably do that.
Oh.
The next note I have is old Wendy's food containers.
Oh god.
And this was 1982, so it was the yellow Wendy's food containers with like the old logo. They only got rid of that recently. So that's been around for a long time because I recognized it just from the yellow box.
Yeah, it all switched to red.
It's all red, and it's like Wendy's is like it's just her face now.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think it says Wendy's anymore, which I don't really like Wendy's. Y'all can come
Are we
for
really
me.
going to go on a tangent?
Oh my god. Like, we've been trying to get away from fast food. Like, really hard. Trying to eat healthier, long story short, but we've made a lot of lifestyle changes because of me. And fast food was one of the things we were like, no, we gotta cut this out. Occasionally, we'll still go to Burger King and get, like, Impossible Whoppers. Because they're not beef.
And that's like, we're talking
Like, oh
desperate
shit,
for
we're,
food.
We're out. There's the 2 for $6. We'll just get some that nuggies and we'll eat them. Nuggets. Chicky nuggets.
Chicky nuggies.
But, like, Wendy's is the one that recently I get physically ill when I eat it. And I don't know if it's their fault or my fault.
It's not good.
It's honestly, like, I really did like Wendy's for a long time. Really good food. But now that we eat healthier, it's like we eat that stuff and it's like,
Blech.
this is not good. So no shit on you if you like fast food. Like, that's your prerogative. But we have been eating cleaner and healthier. If you don't want to hate your favorite fast food places, don't eat clean vegetables, fruits, like shit like that. Oh, the other note. Holy Mother of God.
Dude. Okay, so one of the most classic things you can find in an older movie is the Mother of God moment. And I could not believe that this movie had that exact moment. Right at the reveal, you get the cop who's, oh, holy Mother of God.
Is that makes me feel like, okay, Halloween for Silver Shamrock, that guy, and he was also like, good news is your dates are here, bad news is they're
Tom
dead.
Atkins.
Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
Is that like, he's the one that does that move, right? The Holy Mother of God, or
I don't know if he's ever done that.
but I feel like that's
specifically.
his kind of reaction, if not the wording. He's the one that's like, fuck, like that's his thing,
Right.
which I think is chef's. I can't wait to get to his movies, especially when we get to fucking Halloween 4.
Oh, he's all over the fucking genre.
Oh
That's
God.
Halloween
Him?
3.
Tom Segura. Who am I thinking of? He did the effects for
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini. It was a Tom. I got a Tom. There's a Tom there. Him. Who else is the dude that played the detective in the first Halloween?
The detective?
Lucas.
Loomis?
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I cannot wait to get to the classic detectives, police officers, those kind of people.
To be fair, Loomis was a psychiatrist.
Why you gotta show up me and call me a dummy on live national?
I just said no such
podcast?
thing.
You just called me a dummy. I have one that says, dumbass, she's drugged. Dumbass, she's drugged. She's looking at the curtain where he is, dummy. And then, oh, nice shot in the head. There really should have been more blood since you shot him straight in the fucking forehead.
Then, every other kill in the movie was gory as fuck.
Gory and bloody. That one
I would
looked
have had
like,
his head, blow the hell
that
up.
one literally looked like they took a pen and went, stand still. All right, now lay down. Like, that's what it looks like they did.
Yeah, they got cheap on
Was
that.
the budget, ran out and they didn't have any more pig's blood, so they had to be like, here's a marker.
I don't know.
Oh, my God. What's my other note? Oh, tear this place apart piece by piece. Was the detective say, all right, let's tear this place apart? And I was like, there's a pun there. There's a pun there.
Can I ask what the hell the ending stinger of this movie was?
So how does it? The Holy Mother of God detective leans against the bookshelf and it turns, and the Frankenstein girl of all the pieces falls on top of Kendall, and he's like, oh my God, pieces of ladies. Also, whoever painted that one girl in the spots like she needed to, did you have to make the mold look so bread moldy? Like, she looked like a piece of bread.
I honestly think they were running out of money at that
It was
point.
so bad.
It was rough.
But, like, he's sitting down, calming down after that, and the police officer or the detective standing there going, line. I don't remember. And then the fucking Pieces girl grabs his crotch and just rips his dick and balls to shreds. And my exact is, what the fuck was that ending?
It makes no goddamn sense.
Like, it feels like they tried to make it kind of like a thriller ending, like the Michael Jackson turns around, it's like, where's the yellow eyes kind of thing. Like, oh, it's not over.
I don't understand, like, all of a sudden it goes extremely supernatural.
Yeah, like, there was nothing supernatural about this. Nothing. And then all of a sudden she's shredding his twigs and berries. What just happened?
I mean, I gotta keep reminding myself here, and reminding you as well, this is an exploitation film. The entire idea of exploitation is to milk it for all it's worth.
Keep it on a central line.
They never do.
If you want it supernatural, ease into the supernatural.
I say it again, just wait. There's some shit out there that it goes way beyond this.
I don't know if I'm ready for the other shit that you're going to show. I really don't. I really am worried that we're going to watch something that I'm going to be like, you have broken me. I am broken. I cannot do this anymore.
Oh, no.
But then I'm going to get you back with some of the stupidest shit I can find.
Probably.
Yes. And it's going to be beautiful. And you're just going to sit there and be like,
kill me.
Be like, woman, why do you hate me? Why do you hate me? Oh my god.
Do you have anything else on your list over there?
No, my list is complete. The last thing said, hold me, I'm scared.
Hold me, I'm scared.
I don't remember why.
Oh. So what would you rate this movie?
1 through 5? This is a fun time. I would recommend this movie if you are drinking or you're high. Pop this shit in and get a good laugh. There are problems with this movie.
There are a lot of problems.
It's such a stupid type of movie. I can appreciate the art and the cinema and what they were going for. The plot's not bad. They actually tried. I've seen other movies where I'm like, you didn't even try. There's no trying here. This one tried. I would give this about a 4. It's not great, but like, I would say get drunk, get high, get some friends, gather around. This is a good time. Like, don't be scared by the title. I was a little nervous by the title, and it's just what you think. Pieces. Like, I was like, why? What am I watching? Now that I've watched it, I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's fine. This is fine. It's insane, but it's good. So, 4.
4?
4.
In terms of a good movie, this is definitely low on the fucking totem pole. This is not a 5-star Academy Award film by any means.
This is no Titanic.
In terms of Grindhouse, or if you consider it Giallo, I have to give it at least a 4 or 5.
Oh, it's yeah.
This
is a good one.
It's fantastic. It's fun. If you are going into it with the right mindset, you're gonna have a fucking ball.
You're gonna laugh your ass off at parts.
It delivers on gore. It delivers on plot. Really, it delivers on
appearance,
kids.
The colors. If you're a lady or a man and you want to see a peen, there's a peen in there. There's some dude ass. There's 2 dude asses. There's a main dude's ass and there's the fucking in the bushes ass. So I mean,
that's true.
There is equal opportunity ass in this movie.
Yeah, I'm going with a 4.
Yeah. Yep.
Was it predictable?
Yeah. Painfully so. Like, they tried to be like, is it Professor Brown? Is it the janitor? Could it be someone else? It was like, nah, the dean was sus like 20 minutes in.
I think at the time, you may have been able to fool people better.
Back in the early 80s, yeah.
Now, no fucking way.
No, we have become internet sleuths and detectives for everything. Like, some people would probably, the movie starts like, the dean. Like, what? You don't even know the characters
It's the
yet.
dean.
It's the dean. It's a Scooby-Doo-esque movie. It's the fucking Dean.
What was your favorite moment? I've already said mine.
The waterbed. The waterbed. You saw my reaction. I was like, oh,
That
fucking
waterbed scene was
If we could,
perfect.
for the YouTube video, just put up that scene. just show that one. I don't think we can. It's really bloody and gory.
I mean, technically we could.
We could, but it's like, oh
In
my
fact,
God.
you know what? While we're talking about the waterbed scene, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna put this scene over what we're talking about here. It
and
is
hopefully we don't get it
fucking amazing.
It is good.
Just the brutal slow motion that just enhances the impact of every stab.
It's claw away and she can't. I'm like, oh, this is good.
Oh,
This is so good.
It's perfect.
Hands down. Hands down.
What was your favorite line?
Holy mother of God.
Holy mother of God.
Just the way he delivers it, like deadpan. Holy mother of God.
Let's go.
Oh, it was beautiful. Let's go.
Does it still work?
Not a fucking chance. I mean, if the Giallo style films still being made today? I mean, I know Suspiria was remade recently.
Very rarely.
I think if somebody wants to tackle this as kind of a Giallo remake, they could do so much with this. But I feel like the beauty of these movies was how ridiculous and low budget and just of the times these movies are. Like, a short film or an indie film could redo this and definitely get the same feeling. But I feel like Hollywood or major blockbuster type of productions, they try too hard. Like movies, I'm not gonna lie, movies nowadays try way too hard.
Oh God.
And if they remake this, it's gonna lose the beauty, the art, and what it was in the time. I think if somebody wants to try, be my guest, but no. It doesn't work now because it worked beautifully then.
That's the thing, like movies like this and like movie Giallo films, things like that, they're a time capsule of what was.
Yes.
And what worked then. Trying to do that now, you essentially end up with stuff like James Wan is doing these days. He's heavily influenced by those films, so it bleeds through into these like supernatural films.
What movies has he done that's kind of inspired by this?
Insidious.
I didn't like Insidious though. I didn't like
But
the
it's heavily
story,
inspired.
but yes, I can see where it's the colors
And
and
apparently his new film, from what I've heard,
What is his new film?
that's the what was the title? Malignant.
I really am bummed we cannot do Malignant on this podcast.
No, but
because
I really
Malignant
need to see
is
that.
sold as, if you're not the certain type of people to watch this, you will not understand and you will hate it. I love how that's marketed.
Exactly.
Just being, if you're not the right audience, don't watch this, you'll hate it. I love that. That to me says right there, you're going to fucking love it. I'm going to sit there the whole time going, why are we watching this? But you, I feel like, are going to love that movie.
I hope so.
If we don't love that movie, I'm going to be very disappointed in James Wan.
You've kind of already answered this, but would you recommend it?
I would recommend it to, like, hey, like, are you guys looking for a bullshit movie to just have fun with? This is good. If you're somebody that enjoys cinema for the art, cinema for, like, the time period, this is a high recommendation. Highly. Early 80s movies, you know, with the campy dialogue and some people love that. Some people enjoy that because it brings them to a simpler time.
I love that.
You-
I enjoy that.
Yes. I mean, would I recommend this to... would I recommend this to my brother or my sister? Absolutely not. No. They would be like, what is this?
See, but in my opinion, those are the types of people that absolutely should watch it. Because it's not something they normally would.
Would you recommend this to your sister and brother-in-law?
Yeah,
You would?
for
Do
sure.
you think your sister would actually watch
I don't
this?
think my brother-in-law would, but I think my sister would at least try it.
She would
might
try
hate
it. And she might text you and be like, what is this garbage you
What
made
the
me
fuck
watch?
is this?
I would recommend this to my stepfather. I think he'd like it because he likes horror, but he's also like a child of like the 70s and the 80s. He likes that campiness.
He might get a kick out of it.
He might. He's the one that.
Plus, I'm pretty sure he's a closet hornball, so he'd enjoy the boobs all over the place.
Who isn't a closet hornball? I was looking at boobies most of the time. I was like, boobies. I was surprised by the schlong and enjoying the boobies. Let's be honest.
Fair. How would this movie be made today?
I don't know. Honestly, like, I'm trying to think of, like, what company would tackle this? What... I can see what is it, Blumhouse is the horror one? Blumhouse. I can see Blumhouse trying to tackle this and make it an appropriate, like, what they think a horror movie is. But at the same time, like, I feel like they would ruin it. They wouldn't get the point of it. I think the only way for this to be redone today is for an independent filmmaker, somebody who's going on a shoestring budget, to use practical effects, actors that he knows understand the role, and just make it more modern. I think it would be fun, but this would not be some sort of a Hollywood blockbuster.
No, I definitely agree. I don't think this is a movie that really could be made well today. Like, I think if somebody tried, it would get either way too Hollywoodized, modernized, or they'd try to... You couldn't even extend this into, like, a long-form series. I mean, you could if you really built out the detective aspect of it. And
even a long-form series, I think by dragging it out, it might ruin it a
Actually,
little.
I feel like if I were to be given the chance to redo this movie today, I think I would try to make it a long-form series.
Really?
Because then you could, like, build it out and turn it into something that's not cheesy and, like, make it intriguing.
But that's the beauty of it. It's the cheesiness that makes it worth it.
And that's why we always have the original. But if it were to exist today, I think that would be my approach.
I mean, I would enjoy it if you did, or if somebody did do a long haul series, if they would kind of make it look like Dark Shadows from the 60s and 70s. That black and white kind of grainy, like soap opera spooky kind of thing. I fucking love that. Love it.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be really cool. I really would love it if somebody, other than whatever the fuck Dark Shadows was remade, could be redone same way, but with modern technology, like with modern, like, things happening. I think that would be so cool. But that's a tangent. We can't cover that one. It's a series.
That is a series.
It spans, like, how long is Dark Shadows? I think it's years.
It was several seasons, I'm pretty sure.
1966. 1966 to 1971. There are 1,225 episodes.
Jesus.
Yep. That is so many. But it's such a good series. Such a good series.
All right. Do you have anything left to add to Pieces?
Oh my God. No, I don't. But we should pick up all of the pieces and end this podcast, don't you think?
Probably. Did you enjoy the film?
I did. This was... I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think this is much more of a fun ride.
Yeah. Like, I like the fact that the first one was kind of a more serious kind of movie, and this one's fun. This is just kind of like a taste of what's coming. At this moment, I think you and I only have maybe about 6 or 7 more of these planned between us. I have 2,
so.
And then I have 2 others in my Amazon right now.
I mean, I have dozens and dozens that we could do. It's just a matter of when.
But it's a matter of, I would like to make sure that we go for some obscure shit. Like, Pieces was pretty obscure. I didn't know you owned Pieces. Oh, no, you just bought Pieces, didn't you?
No, I've had Pieces for a while.
You have had Pieces? I mean, I want to go for something where it's like, dude, I was browsing Amazon and I found this shit. Like, that's what I want. Or I was on Shudder and I found this stupid thing. What do we do with this? Like, that might be pretty cool.
And that'll definitely be happening in the
Oh my
future.
god. There are going to be some episodes that you're like, what the fuck is this fucking shit that they're watching? Like, are they okay? No, we're not okay, but
We've never been okay.
we've never been okay.
But that's going to bring us to the end of the reel for this week. For more recommendations on films or coffees that you should check out, or to check out our VHS collection, or
Don't forget
even
DVD or Blu-ray.
DVD or Blu-ray, or even just see some fun behind the scenes on how we do this stuff, or you want to chat with us, recommend us some movies, check us out and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, both at Grindhouse Podcast. We're on Twitter at GrindhouseCast. Check out our Discord. The link for everything is down in the show notes.
And I'll always
in the
be
comments.
stalking that.
Listen to us and give us ratings on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever the hell you get your morning fix. New episodes are going to be coming out first thing every Monday morning. If you're listening to this podcast and want a more visual experience, subscribe to us on YouTube. There you can enjoy every episode in its entirety with video. If you like what we're doing and you want to support us, then you can find all the information for that down in the show notes as well. Until next week, I'm Shawn Tetrault.
And I'm Leah Diana.
Thank you for listening, and keep watching.
Woo! 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 Pew 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 pew.
Shawnさん、あなたは Very Nice のギャンブラーです。あんたも最高のバクチ打ちだよ。殺されたお父っつぁんが握っていた3枚の花札、2枚は消えたが残る1枚を消させてもらうよ。
Because of the shocking nature of many scenes in this film, it is definitely not recommended for the squeamish.